everyone. So you're not going to be able to see my costume when I'm sitting down. So I made this video. I'm an 80s singer. I have my mic. This is supposed to go around my waist, but your boy is not skinny enough. And it says totally rad. I got my headpiece. My hair looks kind of 80s-ish too. And then this is the skirt. You can't really see the leggings, but this is what I look like. I'm an 80s singer. So yeah. I thought this was going to come with a necklace, but it is what it is. So I just want to show y'all before the video. Hello, everyone. Happy Halloween. I'm going to insert, you'll probably already see this, but I inserted a video of me in my costume so you can see the full thing. I'm an 80s singer. I love this mic. When I do my pretend concerts in my room, I finally got a mic. I'll be like, say, hey, Miss Carter. Yeah, so I'm excited about having this. I would love a real karaoke mic, but this will do. I said in the other video this is supposed to go around my waist, but I'm not skinny enough for that. And then I got my headpiece, but you'll see. And as always, before we start, obligatory self-promotion. What If I Ruled the World, poems inspired by music, written by me, and always linked in the description, always linked in the link tree. So yeah, check that out. I'm going to put this mic over here because it's not staying flat in my lap. This skirt is kind of poofy, but at least I got to wear my costume. So I'm excited about that. Hope you all have a good Halloween. Stay safe. I'm probably not going to do anything Halloween night. Maybe I'll watch a movie. That's what I'll do. I'll watch some scary movies because my friends went out last week, but one of them was sick. So I wasn't trying to risk it because I just started a new job this week. So they did their stuff already. So this is my stuff. So yeah, so I'm reviewing Coraline for Halloween. So that's what we're here to talk about. So it's a stop motion animated dark fantasy horror film. Synopsis: the film tells the story of a young girl discovering an idealized alternative universe behind a secret door in her new home, unaware that it contains something dark and sinister. And oh, I forgot the release date, of course. Gotta forget something in my notes. Hold on, y'all. I feel like I forgot something last week for Wednesday. Let's look up Coraline. So I can tell you. Can't believe I forgot that. Every single time, my internet is not connected when I want to look up something. It does this every single week. It's like it knows I want to do something on there. So it's like, let us not work. Well, let me tell you the rest of the notes while I'm waiting for that. Okay, now it's here. Here we go. Coraline. Sorry about that, y'all. It's taking forever. Well, whenever that loads. I swear, whenever I'm on the internet, it just goes right 100%. Anyway, let's go on to the next part of the notes while I figure that out. So it's directed by Henry Selick. I hope I said his name right. I'm gonna be honest. Before I rewatched this, thought this was a Tim Burton movie. It's very Tim Burton-esque. They have very similar styles, which might be controversial to say because, I don't want to disrespect either one of them because I like both of their work, obviously. I said last week Edward Scissorhands was one of my favorite movies, and then I watched Wednesday and it was really good. And Tim Burton directs that one, so they have similar things going on. Yeah, this is not loading, so I guess you're just gonna have to Google yourself. When Coraline came out, I want to say it was 2005. Whenever that comes up, we'll figure it out. If I remember before the end of the video, I will bring it up. But the cast is Dakota Fanning as Coraline Jones, Terry Hatcher as Melanie Mel Jones, and the Beldam alias, the alias of the other mother. Uh, okay, so that's the other mother. Hold on. Jennifer Saunders is April Spink, and her other mother, her other world counterpart. Oh, I think that's one of the like the neighbors. One of the neighbors, like they're like circus people. Like a lot of them, like the two women are like former dancers or something, and then the guy upstairs is like a strongman performer. So this is one of the ladies, and they're like old now. Dawn French as Miriam Forcible and her other world counterpart. Keith David as the cat. They have a talking cat, but he's only talking in the other world, not in the regular world. Uh, John Hogman as Charlie Jones, and the other father. So that's her father and the other father in the other world. John Linnell. Oh, he sings as the other father. And then Robert Bailey Jr. as Wyborn YB Lovett. And then Ian McShane as uh, Sergey Alexander Bobunsky. That's the strongman guy. And then his other world counterpart. And then Anka Neil, George Selick, and Hannah Kaiser as the Ghost Children, and Henry Selick. Oh, he plays in it himself, and Marina Bodvatsky as Coraline's friends back in Pontiac, Michigan, which they talk like in the picture that she has of them. And then Caroline Crawford as Mrs. Lovett, who is like the landlord of the whole building that they live in. So yeah, where can you stream it? You can stream it on Pluto TV, Tubi TV. That's where I watched it. Tubi, Amazon Prime, Apple TV, Fandango at Home, Google Play Movies and TV, and YouTube. So the first two, Pluto TV and Tubi, are free. That's where I watched it because I was like, I want to watch it for free. So I'm gonna talk about my pros and my cons and my overall opinion. So the first pro is the aesthetic and the looks. So I'm gonna insert some characters, pictures, and some other things as I'm talking. So I didn't really make a notes, so I'm gonna be winging it. But yeah, I love the aesthetics, with the button eyes and the way that everything looks, the house looks that they all live in, the way everyone else looks. Everybody looks cool. And like, even though it's bright in some of the parts of the world, it still looks kind of scary and gothic. And of course, like, when the bad stuff happens, it's very dark and depressing. And yeah, I just love the look of everything. And I will say that food in the other world, that food did look good. So I mean, I'm not gonna blame Coraline. She was a child. I probably would have tried to stay too. But then they start talking about the button eyes, then everything going south, and then it's like not um, it's not without a cost, basically. So yeah, but the aesthetics were really cool, and I really loved it. The look of the movie. The story, I talked about this in my short video. I love the story of basically like be careful what you wish for, even though she's a child. I mean, why are we teaching a child this lesson? But especially because I have a con about that. Her parents, they need to be paying more attention to her. And yeah, I just love the story. And I love the story of with YB and like him coming to help her and everything. And speaking of that, I love the characters. I feel like all the characters together were very nice and heartwarming. Like the what was his name? Bobinski. I feel like they called him by his last name the whole movie. So the strong man was like cool. He was interesting. He was kind of jumping all around the place. YB, I will admit he was kind of annoying, but then he came out to help when Coraline needed him, so that was cool. And I loved the two old ladies, and I think they were psychic too because they were trying to warn Coraline about like what was going to happen. So I thought that was a cool aspect to it too. And who else? The parents, they kind of pissed me off. We'll get into that. But everybody else was pretty cool. Miss Lovett, she did not go over to the house for a reason which I'm going to talk about in my cons. So, but basically, her sister went missing in that house. So, of course, it's like not someplace she likes to go. So, that was one thing. But from what we saw of her, she seemed interesting. Oh, and the music. I loved the music. It was so like whimsical, but also, like, of course, you do know that something bad's going to happen. But it's a nice soundtrack, relaxing. But when it gets intense, the music is intense as well. So I really love that aspect of it as well. Let's get into my cons. So, like I said, Mrs. Lovett's sister story is one of my cons. I would have loved to have learned more about the sister, like what happened with her, because your twin sister goes missing. That's like crazy. I don't know many twins, but I know that twins are very close. So that would be like traumatic for me. And I kind of would like to know the backstory about that. And I know it's been like, if I could figure out when it was, probably 20 years. So we probably will never get like a sequel to that. Has it come out? No. I don't know what's happening with my internet. I feel like whenever I'm using it and I don't need it, it's like really fast. But anyway, um, but yeah, I think it's been about 20 years. And if it has not, let me know in the comments. Since I forgot to put it in my dang notes. I can't believe I forgot that. But anyway, I'd like to know like a background about her because we learned that there are other kids that went to this world, and of course this other world, and it was absolutely not what they thought it was going to be, and yeah, bad things happened to them. Even though I guess I kind of spoiled it by calling them ghost children, but still. But yeah, I'm not going to tell you the specific details about what happened to them, but yeah, something bad happened to them. Oh, and then my last comment is the parents' negligence. These parents have ignored Coraline the whole movie. That's the reason why she went into the other world, because they weren't paying her no mind. And I feel like that's their fault, because they should have been paying her attention and giving her attention and giving her love, and they were not. So that pissed me off. Not until the end, until they had this like garden party, because they were like garden magazine writers or something. So yeah, that was crazy to me. So those are my pros and my cons. And here's my overall opinion. I've really enjoyed rewatching Coraline because I felt like it just scared me as a child, so I didn't appreciate its nuances. So I was just scared and don't remember much about it, lol, until I rewatched it just now. I love the aesthetics and the looks of the world and the characters. It made both the regular and the other worlds more very engaging. The story is very captivating as well, since it dealt with a relatable topic. Basically, appreciate what you have. Um, and I love all the characters and how they live together. It was like really interesting being in this like boarding house type thing, but it was kind of like a duplex type thing. That was cool to see. All the neighbors were very interesting, especially the two old ladies and the strong man neighbor. Um, they were very intriguing characters, and like I said, I think the two ladies were supposed to be psychic, but the way they did their psychic abilities was like really weird, but it was interesting to see. Um, I will say YB was a little annoying, but he came through when Caroline Coraline needed him. Which they did call her Caroline by accident in the movie, and now I'm calling her Caroline. It's Coraline. Uh, so he was cool in the end. Coraline just wanted her parents' attention and almost got abducted. Every kid goes through that, right? LOL. uh, so I have. Oh, I meant to put in. I have an issue with the parents just acting like everything's okay in the end because they just make up for it by giving her this party, I guess. And I'm like, it's not really gonna affect, you know, the past and her being traumatized by being in this other world and almost getting killed. It's a little crazy to me. Anyway, I wish we learned more about Mrs. Lovett's sister and what Miss Lovett went through without her. I guess it's Miss Lovett, not Mrs. But yeah, I really wanted to know more about about her twin sister. That would have been cool to see. I'll give this movie a 7 out of 10. Like if my cons were like better or fixed, which is not going to be fixed ever, but if somehow they fixed it, That would have made the score a little better. I think I would have given it like an 8 or a 9. But yeah, do you like Coraline? Let me know. I wrote a haiku called Coraline's Conundrum because you know I love alliteration. So here it goes. You want the perfect life, but not to pay the price with your life and soul. So yeah, it's a little spooky, ooky for Halloween. Do you like Coraline? Do you not like Coraline? Do you like some other movie by Henry Selick? Is that the director? Yeah. He did Nightmare on. I keep saying these names wrong. I'm about to say Nightmare on Elm Street. That's not the right one. Nightmare Before Christmas, which is one of my friend's favorite movies. And once again, I wasn't really a fan. Maybe I gotta rewatch that one next. Maybe I'll watch that on Halloween. Even though it is kind of Christmas related, but we'll be right there anyway. But yeah, let me know what other movies you like by him. If I could look it up, I would look up more of his movies, but I don't know what's going on with my internet. It just has decided to take the day off today. And it was working on my phone, so anyway, let me know what date Coraline came out so I can put it in the video. Or I can put it in the comments or something in the description. Once I find it, maybe I'll put it in the description. But yeah, I hope you all enjoy your Halloween and be safe. And I will see you all next week.